Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Case.
Wow.
We're back. The last few weeks have been a whirlwind.
A whirlwind. This podcast became my whole life, and that's not the rank. I like it.
I will say that our guest from last week, Roxane Gay, won a Guggenheim Fellowship this week.
What?
Yeah. She's for real, but I, of course, make this about us. We're for real. We're legit. When someone we've had on our podcast, we've begged to come on our podcast, has won a Guggenheim Fellowship.
Do you think our discussion about Lala pushed her over the edge?
I think it said like she won it in like novel writing. So yes, for sure.
Sounds like yes.
But I'm very proud of her, impressed, everything. So that's cool.
I have to say that I really am serious when I say that interview was a highlight for me.
Me too.
You know who was very happy with it?
Who?
Our Lord and Savior, Ms. June Diane Raphael.
Yes.
Who you know will give fearless feedback.
Fearless.
The most fearless of feedback.
And I was craving her approval. I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Roxane Gay is her North Star.
Yeah.
She's such a huge fan of hers. And, you know, we called her right when we got in the car to break it down. And she listened. And, you know, I think she said, you know, she really loved it. And that was really special.
I didn't know about
now she's trying to worm her way in to do a Sister Wives offshoot one night. Me, her, Roxanne. She's like, well, Danielle doesn't listen to Sister Wives. Cutting you right out. Cutting you right out.
Wow.
Speaking of Sister Wives, Danielle.
Yes.
Quick new recommendation from our current TV correspondent, of which we have, well, really three. Obviously, Shira Cass-Boyce. I believe Roxane Gay to be a new correspondent.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Below Deck Mediterranean, she's really deep diving.
She's in the field.
Yes.
And so is Vanessa Bayer.
Mm-hmm. She's the one that requested we watch Love at First Sight. That was her, the not Love at First Sight, but the precursor.
30 Day Fiance?
30 Day Fiance. There's so many in the canon.
So good. She showed up in my office for a meeting with another one of my office mates, and she literally strode up to me and grabbed my shoulders, and she said the following: "Say Yes to the Dress, episode 1509." She didn't even know I was going to be there, and she had 1509 at the ready. And I go, what? I mean, Say Yes to the Dress. That was like back in the day for me.
I know. That feels like something I can't even fuck with anymore.
Right.
You
like
know?
when reality was first finding its feet. She goes, Casey, 1509, Say Yes to the Dress. Polygamists come in and they're looking for wedding dresses.
Wow.
She goes, I hope you have time for this. And I said, of course I do, Vanessa. So I'm tuning into it tonight. She said, save it for when you're just ready to just love life, basically.
Well, I am ready. So thank you, Vanessa Bayer.
Thank you, Vanessa. And keep it coming, Vanessa.
Emmy nominee Vanessa Bayer, only the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh gosh, so much to talk about. Should we talk quickly about Watch What Happens Live?
Yeah, we didn't really get into it last week because we didn't want to, mess with any of Roxanne's time. We just wanted to get in.
Although now it's become clear, I think we can mess with more of her time.
Oh yes, I feel like if we could have her on weekly, that would be great.
She has more to say.
Yeah, she sure does. But it was so much fun. It was a dream experience. I don't want to speak for you, Casey, but
I didn't care for it.
What?
I loved it. It was so fun.
But it was the most fun. And it felt relaxed. Like I felt relaxed. I was nervous at first, but then once we got there, it did feel like we had come home.
I know. And I think I don't know basketball terms, but sometimes my husband will throw around Jordan is in the fucking ninth inning or whatever it is in the
Clearly
fourth quarter.
You don't know
Jordan in the fourth quarter. And and I hope that doesn't sound like bragging, but I did feel we caught a stride.
Yeah.
Only because it's now I'm going to quote someone else terribly. Mm-hmm. Who's that guy, Malcolm Gladwell?
Yeah,
50,000 hours.
Oh, yeah. We have definitely watched 50,000 hours of reality TV.
To be an expert. And that's just a fact.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And I actually had so much fun with you guys both, April too, just getting to go on there.
Yeah.
The first time I went, I was on with one Miss Tamar Braxton of Braxton Family Values.
I watched that because, of course, the minute you were on, I was like, well, and she was a lot.
She was a presence. And then I was like a deer in headlights.
And then you went on with the Singers.
Not only Singer. I went on with her the episode that had come out was when she threw what she thought was a plastic glass, but was actually glassware at
Kristen Takeman.
At Kristen Takeman in the Berkshire Lake. And then I was like, I'm going to take her to task on this. This is abuse. And then I got on the show. I was like, hey, Ramona. I was like, I loved what you did there.
I think I remember she was like, aren't I right? And you were like, I'm on your side. did not even blink.
She
I would
gets
be
you.
too.
She's like what I hear Tom Cruise is. Like when she gets you in her clutches and those crazy shark eyes come after you.
Yeah, you can't escape. You
powerless.
You do what you can to just get out alive. And I think you did your best.
Yeah. But having you as a guest, it was so comfortable and so much fun. And
Andy was a dream,
He really
a treat. So warm, so generous with his time and
generous with us. I mean, he gifted us. Wow.
Yeah, something big.
Very packed bags full of, God, what's her name on Dallas?
Oh,
Deandra.
Deandra's
Dee's daughter, Deandra.
Yeah, Dee's daughter Deandra's her
skincare line.
Yeah. So how's it working on you?
It's working
guys?
great. I don't know that the algae ever made it.
No. Well, that was a problem from the beginning.
Like the algae 59.
Why her mother never trusted her. I don't blame her now.
Honestly, I'm like, Dee, get back at the helm. Take control of your company.
We need you. Don't die. I know you're old, but keep kicking.
You know, it was so funny. April just told us that, you know, we showed up in our costumes, which were we all decided to wear housewives lines of clothing, housewives couture. I was in, of course, Patricia L. Schultz from Southern Charms caftan line, in which you send an animal in, and I sent in because she oddly only puts silk screened images of dogs over and over. And so I sent in Kingsley, R.I.P. What were you in dinner?
I was in Luann, the Countess Luann's jumpsuit, the famous jumpsuit. I couldn't get it in the red color. I guess it had sold out. So I got it in the blue. And it was, it was very well priced. The price point is fantastic, which was, I think, like $40. But I did need $127 worth of alterations on it. So, it offset the cost.
It giveth and it taketh away.
And I literally had 2 or 3 fittings to get it done, which was more than I had on my wedding dress. So
it definitely gaveth in the crotch area.
Oh yeah. It was for a woman with a lower pelvic floor.
No fear of camel toe there.
No. I mean, I could have had a huge vaginal lips and no one would know.
I feel like very meaty lips. I feel like Luann, like when she was, they were like, well, do you want fit models to come in? She's like, I'll do it. And they're all based on her because she has a longer torso.
She does. And it shows in the design.
Is Lou's voice getting lower as the years go on?
All my friend Kate Arfin texted me last night and she's like, they're all at a lower decibel than they've ever been. Like, time has not been kind to these women's voices in New York. They are all speaking down here.
Yes, I don't know if it's the like what's happening over there in New York, but they've all gone down a register.
They've been, as you like to say, a little bit rode hard and put away wet. And
now,
that is showing.
April Mouton is here. April, who were you wearing on Watch What Happens Live?
I was wearing a Miss Sonia Morgan, New York, red jumpsuit that was worn by Casey last year in our live shows. Also a longer torso, I will say.
Yeah.
And, I heard from Patricia L. Schultz.
Over Twitter?
Yes, and she was so sweet. And she said, I loved your look. Thank you for wearing it. She was really, really sweet. And I was very touched that she reached out.
Too.
And someone else reached out.
Yeah, Sonia Morgan tweeted me, and she quoted Patricia's tweet and then added me.
Wow.
And then she sent a second tweet a few days later and said, thanks, April, for wearing my Sonia Morgan New York.
Had she forgotten about the first tweet, perhaps?
I don't think so. I think she just really wanted to make sure I knew how good I looked. Did you hear from Luann?
Sadly, no.
Lou is busy.
I guess Lou wasn't thrilled with the way I looked at her outfit.
Oh, I'm going to read Sonia's tweet really quick. She says, anyone see the bitch Sesh sisters on Bravo?
Does she think we're sisters?
Oh my God, she tweeted photos of us. How could I miss this?
I missed it too.
Anyone see the bitch Sesh sisters on Bravo? Watch What Happens Live with Andy. Love you, girls. And thanks, April, for wearing my Sonia Morgan New York. Was floored. Oh, love you, girls. It's 70% off on my app link. You know what? God bless her. And
70% off.
And you know what? That's a fucking pro. Because at one point, I brought up the fact that she came back from Cartagena in diapers. And for her to still keep giving.
And to not even care. And to still thank you for wearing her outfit.
Thank you, Sonia.
Yeah. Again, no tagging everybody. Just because these people,
please, they may have reached out, but we do not reach back.
We don't want to reach back.
And especially for any new fans, as I think we may have a few new ones if you're listening. We never, ever tag any of the housewives.
Especially because week to week, who knows what we're going to say? And I just don't need it out there. Because sometimes, and to their faces, of course, we're going to be beautiful and genteel. And
although
and
one of the
kind.
most horrifying parts of Watch What Happens Live, and it was horrifying, was when Andy came backstage and very casually, minutes before we were supposed to go on, said, listen, really quick, we've dug into the archives of Bitch Sesh and we've just come up with a bunch of quotes that you and Danielle have said about different people. And we just want you to either apologize for them or stand behind them. I glanced at that sheet. My eyes bugged out of my head. You didn't even have a chance to glance at it, Danielle.
No, I didn't even know what was coming
literally,
at me.
all I saw with like crazed eyes was, Danielle, you said that Schwartz is a flaccid penis of a human. I was like, this is going to be read on television.
Yeah, it sure was. But I stand by it again.
It was just so shocking because it's one thing to do this podcast because it does feel like kind of who even knows. But to have someone say to me, and Casey, you said that Camille's face looks great for 60 and then you looked her up and found out she was 47. That's harsh. I was like, who said that? Doesn't sound like me.
It's also tough to have your words parroted back to you because we say these things, we feel them one week, we don't another week, It's
like when we used to have answering machines and you would hear it suddenly, you're like, that's not me.
Yeah, you see yourself on film and you're like, that's not what I look like.
I'm much thinner than that.
I'm much nicer. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
So it was tough. But again, I think we stood by most of everything we said, even when confronted with it. We did not back down.
I stood behind it all.
True courage.
Oh my God, it was
True
so
courage.
fun.
So it was a blast.
It was really fun.
Speaking of blast, we have something that's going to be a blast that we had a blast doing. And that is we have more.
A lot of blasts.
I know. Sorry, guys. Finger blast.
Blast off.
Something that was super fun to do. We have new Stitcher Premium episodes coming soon, guys.
We taped 17 half-hour episodes. When I tell you we got in there,
We really did.
I would say a smattering of them are deep dives about the Housewives. I'm talking we've screened Kenya Moore's pilot.
Yeah, we've done some
A romantic comedy, if I may, and got into it. We read every single Housewives book. We went for it. And then, but a bunch of the other episodes were so fun to do. We had so many great, friends and people on them that we love. And we got to kind of diverge a bit from the Housewives and do like more pinpointed episodes. And so we wanted to give you a little taste of what they are like.
Hey, Bitch Sesh listeners. Casey and I have a very exciting announcement. We have some more Stitcher Premium episodes coming. You guys, these are premium. I'm not even joking. These are the best. We have some previously unheard footage, do we call it, of us with Erica Jane. We have another housewife that hasn't even been released yet that we talked to. That's also going to be coming on the premium episodes. We have Grownish writer Kara Brown, Amy Schumer writer, head writer, Emmy Award-winning friend Jessie Klein. We also deep dive on fashion and housewives and astrology with one Heidi Rose Robbins. We also talk about Rinna's book and Kenya's pilot and have so much deep diving, plus a bunch of personal stuff that comes up that Casey and I have revealed on this podcast in the Stitcher Premium episodes. And I'm not sure that we should have, but it's out there and we're not going back. So it's all on the Stitcher Premium episodes. They start dropping on April 11th. Just go to StitcherPremium.com/housewives and use promo code housewives for a free month of listening. Here's a little preview.
Where does this name come from?
So embarrassing. The name tortures me so much. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, well, I hope it's all very
originally, everyone was like, well, we want to call it Kyle. But I was like, I don't want my name. Like, I'm embarrassed to have like Kyle, And they're like, well, we also have this big following, so we don't want to lose our following. And next thing I know, it was called Kyle by Aileen. It was supposed to be Kyle and then Aileen 2 underneath, but then people call it Kyle by Aileen 2. But it really was just supposed to be my name and the mix two together. And that kind of stuck. And now it became like literally like parody accounts and people make fun of it. Now Liz is like, well, we can't even change it now because people think it's funny.
Erica, we just wanted to give you 3 taglines you might want to think about for next season.
Okay, lay
New
on me.
ones, just in case. Not that yours aren't always perfect, but
You want to start?
some are crazier, some are smaller.
Just
but
try them on for
Okay,
size.
go.
Yeah, here we go. Don't fuck with me or my period monster will wash you away.
That is visually awful.
No, is that a no? That's a no. Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
I might be from Pasadena, but you won't pass on my vagina. Wearing underwear this time, bitch.
Yeah.
I said many.
This is a poem entitled Bare Boobs.
Wow. Sorry, I'm trying to process.
It is about the time I found a hair on my boob.
That's lovely. That's raw.
Guys,
Please read it. Please.
I give you bare boobs. The hair is always there, making my life unfair. With holes in my underwear. I just wish to God my boobs were bare.
So guys, get this all and so much more on our Stitcher Premium episodes. That's stitcherpremium.com/housewives and use the promo code housewives for a free month of listening. And it starts April 11th.
Premium episodes.
Anyway, I can't wait for you guys to hear them. Stitcher Premium
And yes, that was me.
singing it.
Childhood poem about my bare boobs.
Your bare boobs. That poem was the wildest thing I've ever heard.
And it goes on for 2 more pages.
It really does. And it's beautiful and horrifying. It's like a Guillermo del Toro movie.
It's like The Shape of Water,
Yeah, it's real weird.
which I never saw, but I am scared of.
Honestly, I find it more frightening than fucking a sea monster.
And there's so many more beautiful poems I shared about a lot of first love, so much anger towards the women they're dating now. And this was when I was like 17 and I had like pictures of guns and like blood dripping from the guns, like people I was going to kill. And I know that's not popular in these times. And you treated us to a lot more songs.
Yeah, to more songs from my youth. You guys have gotten a taste on the
I'm never going back to you.
people. I want to thank the people. Some people have remixed my song for me in a way that I never saw.
One woman was playing it on a piano and a keyboard,
gorgeous,
singing so beautifully.
All of a sudden, I was like, I was a true gifted songwriter, even as a 12-year-old.
Okay.
That's what I found out from these people remixing my songs
Okay.
and taking the time out. And I thank them. And if we ever are in your city, I'd love to ask you to come and perform those.
What a great idea. That girl on the keyboard, I need to hear her live.
Yeah, I think she's from Chicago. If you're
Well, we're going to Chicago.
going to
in
Chicago
June.
soon, and if you, the girl with the keyboard, hit me up.
I don't know how you can get in touch with us, but try. We've made it incredibly difficult. People are always like, do you have an email? I'm like, I don't know.
Unclear.
One sweet girl has been trying to send me a thread about a bachelorette party that sounds like I need nothing more than this. She's always like, how do I get this to you? And I'm just like, I wish I knew.
We're 100, guys. Find it. Get it to us. Carrier pigeon? Sure.
One more little thing, Danielle, that
Sure.
April found online.
Okay.
Before we launch into all of the shows, it's a tough one. April found some new tweets online from my father.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay.
Yes.
Guys.
This we were alerted to, and I don't even know what to do with this.
Now, this came hot on the heels of a sketch he sent me out of the blue that for my mom's charity. So that part was very nice for me and you to shoot. On an iPhone, he said, but it had many parts to it, many locations, and I was naked showering in it. And
I'm just glad I made the cut, that I'm in
not
it.
only made the cut, at the top it says Danielle will star in this.
I'm the star.
You're the star.
Wow.
I'm showering naked.
This feels right.
I told him we would not be producing that sketch.
Well, tell him I'm happy to do without you. I'm tech avail. Please tell
Okay,
him.
I was like, I don't have time to do this, but I forgot to check with you.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay, so my dad's Twitter, if some of you may or may not heard, is at Pow Wilson. So it's POWILSOM. He has 1,668 followers.
Great.
Here's how he describes himself, which I've never noticed. TV advertising guy. Love scuba diving. Have a foundation helping children with special needs. That part I like.
Beautiful.
Okay. Now, many of you know some of his former tweets are just, I mean, one of them is just, why does my daughter Casey make fun of me? I just saw that one.
That feels like a real kind
One
of
of them
sad.
is, as we've discussed in some of our live shows, drive safe. Another one is dinner. And one is, what did you say? Are you concerned?
But these are not at anybody.
Oh, God, no.
No, these are
God,
just...
no. And a lot of them have a lot of likes. One of them is, I'm busy for 40 minutes. And another one, my favorite one, is pocket tweet, PPPPXPPP. And then the sweetest one. I know I've read these before, but it just really takes me back. After I, was unceremoniously not brought back to Saturday Night Live, it just says simply directed at no one. I wish you, the letter U, would bring back Casey Wilson.
Oh, I love it.
Does anyone even
Tell
know?
us about these new tweets.
Okay. Danielle, I guess, should I read them in the order they came out?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The first one is just this. Wound up, not running, period. The next one is The next one
I think
is
it goes the other way, though.
right, but I'm reading them in the order. Should I read them the other way?
I feel like because then it'll make a little bit of sense.
A little bit. Okay. There's 3. Here we start. We had a potential client once for the Senate in a Midwestern state and asked anything we should know that might come out. So my dad's a political consultant and he represents different politicians. Okay. We asked anything we should know that might come out. She said, and he puts a quote, W ... She said, woo. Okay. Then you go to the next one. You kind of expect it to pick up there.
Yeah.
It just says L. For work in other states, I like to pick up men in the hotel bar and take them back to my room. 2 exclamation points. End quote. We all slowly turned and looked at E ... Wound up not running. What's happening?
I had to explain this to myself. I was like, okay, I need to make this make sense. And so I decided, your father's like, this is a funny story I want to share with the world. And I'm going to use this as my forum to do it in. So it's like funny. And I think he had told it earlier in the day and it went gangbusters. So he's like, I got to share this with the world. Yeah. And so he decides to tweet it. But he's not great at tweeting and could probably use...
seminar.
Yeah, just somebody
Trip to
to
the
help.
Apple Store.
Yeah, somebody to help him with it. But, a proofreader,
Yeah.
And so it didn't come out in quite the way that I think he heard it in his head.
Yeah, that's very generous. I'm looking below and it says, who to follow. For me, interesting choices. Cameron Crowe, Jennifer Snowden from Southern Charm. Wow. Well, Danielle, should we take a little break and then get into Housewives?
We sure should.
We're back.
We sure are. And before we get into the Housewives, one more thing. We have a Largo show coming up this month, April 26th. Very excited about it because we have an awesome special guest, which is Caitlin Olsen from The Mick and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's a huge Housewives fan. And we found this out because I write for It's Always Sunny, and she was in the office one day and I came in because I was late from the Erica Jane interview and she was like, "You did what?" And she was like, "Oh my God." And so I found out she was a huge fan. So she is doing the live show April 26th at Largo. And I cannot wait to talk to her
in Los
about it.
Angeles.
Yes.
That's going to be so fun. Oh, Danielle. So we've got so much to discuss. We've got Atlanta. We've got Los Angeles. We've got Vanderpump.
And we've got New York.
Oh my God, I forgot about it. How could I forget?
The glorious New York. I mean, do we start with the
I guess
tippy
we
top?
do. I guess we do.
New York. Now, I have to say, just felt a thrill to see the skyline, like to just be back in the grand old city.
I feel like they're putting some filters on the New York skyline. Like it looks so majestic. It looked like a Woody Allen movie before he raped everyone.
Before. Correct. Now, this episode.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm taking out my anger on him.
Okay.
And it's not the right forum, much like my father's tweets.
No, he is a terrible man and a rapist, and I will not see any more of his movies. But anyway.
And I want to say my father-in-law was on the right side of that debate 15, 20 years ago.
Wow, impressive. Yeah.
Shout out to Jeffrey Casp.
Yeah.
So, Danielle, New York. I felt like it started a little slow, if I may.
Yeah, I mean... Yes, but I know that we have so much more to do, but I like that everyone was being themselves, which I appreciate that, like, even at this huge thing where this charity event that Bethany's getting ready, she's got a lot to do, that Ramona's still like having her assistant email and say like, "Who's at my table?" Like everyone's just being them.
Appreciate that Bethany's assistant Ramona's assistant knew better than to just be like, "Who's at my table?" She was like, "Hey, Bethany, I know you have so much going on," which did not come out of the mouth of Miss Singer. And Bethany, look, it's tough because we all want to, I think in some level, of course, if you do charity, it also feels so good for you to do it because you feel great and you're helping people. And, I guess, I don't know. There is just something I can't, I don't know how to phrase this because did I do this? No. And so I am so impressed by everything she did for Puerto Rico. But there is an element to it, at least the way she was talking about it, which she can't just say like, it was really amazing what we did. She has to put everyone else on. She's like, what? You guys are going to sit on your fucking asses? I'm actually going there. It's like, why are you insulting me?
I had a thought about Bethany.
Was it as controversial as when I said on Watch What Happens Live, she should be the housewife that leaves next?
No, I
regret
agree
that.
with you on that.
Regret that.
But I think it must be very hard to be Bethany in the sense that she is a person. And no, I don't mean she's a good person. I don't mean, I mean, she'll never get out of being Bethany. So even when she is doing the best thing that she's ever done in her life, probably, or will ever do, which is the stuff with Puerto Rico, she's just not a likable person. You know what I mean?
And I do think you're right. I think she hit her stride. She has trouble with relationships. Clearly, I believe she has a great relationship with her daughter, but I think she found her kind of light in this charity work, but she still, you're right, has that piece of herself.
She'll never be able to truly enjoy things. She'll never be truly selfless. You know what I mean? Like she just
I don't think
have it in her.
I would be curious how many female relationships, even from remember Bethany Ever After.
Yeah.
A lot of girlfriends. I wonder where they all are.
I don't think she can maintain. And that was interesting about, we knew that a Carol thing was coming, but to have Carol, something has gone down already because to not have Carol at that charity event, something's already gone down. There has been a rip in the fabric of that friendship that was so tight.
I know. And I do feel like it was kind of like floated past us very quickly that Adam and Carol are no longer together.
Yeah. And I'm not liking this new blonde on Carol. Just a bunch of random thoughts, fantasies. Too late, Carol. Go back to your caramel.
I know, because we only have 2 summers left. And also, when Carol was...
Please pass that.
When Carol... And I liked the kind of the new look of like the burgundy lace top. There is something very studied about Carol, and I do believe she has effortless style. But every season, I feel like she's kicking it up and becoming more and more aware of her duties as a housewife. Like, and now I need to have amazing style. Whereas before I was kind of like really sophisticated and put together. And I don't know, her look is getting more and more like these garish celebrities like the Kim. And obviously she's a 1 on the scale and Kim Zolciak is a 10, but she's on the scale.
She is on the scale, which I don't know that she would be on if she weren't on the show.
She wouldn't. And I want to say, let's wait for Lee to pass. Yeah. Wait for Lee Radzi to pass before we do certain things.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's have some class.
Have some respect.
Respect.
And I know Lee's in Paris, but still.
But she's with us.
Oh.
But we did, as we thought was tweeting into.
Well, we've thought a couple things about Lee. We've thought she's passed in the past. And we thought she was tweeting. But look, if my dad can tweet, why can't Lee?
No, sure. I loved it.
I would love to follow Lee.
I like to still believe she's tweeting, even though I know it's not her. R.I.P.
I'm like the best sucker for a fake Twitter account. I'm like, ooh.
I feel that Sonia's a little aloof this season.
Because that's what all the women said to her?
Is that why I came up with that?
Well, it is strange. Dorinda's right. I mean, it's very strange to when your girlfriend's hosting a party that you're a guest of to not even say hi.
Yeah. And that along with her eye makeup has been tough in the first episode. She had some wild testimonial makeup that I couldn't process. Like, it took me a minute.
I feel like everyone was putting down her Lucy look, but I found that cute.
That was the best look she had in the entire episode.
Because everyone's so trying to go for like this sexy costumes, and she's like, no, I'm going to be Lucy.
It was actually a strange choice for her, I thought.
Right, but I liked it.
It worked. And then Dorinda with
Guys.
the...
Guys. Okay.
I just made one quote with Dorinda. I love drunken Dorinda. All right. I'll make you a chicken will hang out Adam Sandberg.
Adam Sandler was thrown out.
Sandberg was what she
Guys,
said.
what's happening with Dorinda? And we know what's happening because in the preview future, Bethany's literally screaming in her face, you're a drunk, you're a drunk.
Yes, she is.
It's one of those things where I'm like, is everyone an alcoholic or just someone just love to drink?
Well, there was an article this week that came out and said like Luann lost 8 pounds because she stopped drinking 7 drinks a day. 7 drinks a day.
How much must Lou have had before she went into the bushes?
more than 7, but 7 is a lot. If that's your daily drink intake, that's a lot.
Now, speaking of Lou, let's take a moment of silence for her costume. What a goddamned misstep.
And then she has
I'm
come
not
back.
laughing.
No,
I'm
she has come back
aghast.
and said that she was not wearing like
Blackface?
Blackface, that she was just in self-tanner, and that was her self-tanner. She has doubled down.
Guys, when I saw her walk in, first of all, my phone lit up again, like when Shannon and David announced their separation. People were just like, and angry at me. Address this. I'm like, I haven't even done the podcast yet, but I will. It was so shocking. Almost as shocking as how low her top was.
And also the hair.
Okay, I feel like the hair is not getting as much.
The
Hair was so offensive.
Was so offensive, because even that wasn't even like how Diana Ross really wears her hair, and like it was insane.
And Lou thought that was going to be fun.
Yeah.
Like Lou's like, I'm going to really knock their socks off with this. What in the fuck?
It was.
I do think since Lou fell into the bushes, I feel like she's like, maybe if I really let myself go, like this is working for me. It's not working, Lou.
No. Don't
You've been
plan it.
arrested?
I feel like, yeah, she's been arrested.
You've gotten divorced and you've shown up in blackface. It's not a good run.
Not a great
I feel like when she's in the cab in the future episode, which I love so much, of course, truly the best quote ever. She's like, got a lot going on. What does she say?
She's like, I've been on planes, I've been in jail.
I showed up in blackface. Like that needs to be in the
Part
litany.
of the rundown, yeah.
And I think this caught Lou totally by surprise.
Yeah. She did.
Although I don't know, because Andy had her on right away to apologize, which I thought was very generous, much like his special with her in the Hamptons on the dock.
Yeah.
And Lou was like at home with Lou, kicking off her shoes.
I didn't realize, like, it's been, even at the reunion last year, we didn't hear about their divorce. Like, I lose track of time. These women are always in my head. And so, like, at the reunion last year, she had just said,
in between.
Yeah, it happened in between. I had thought maybe it happened earlier, but it hasn't been long.
And that's when I sang a song that just didn't work.
What, the Hallelujah?
Yes.
I thought that worked.
No, Luann set to Suzanne.
Oh.
Look, they don't all hit, guys. They don't.
No, Hallelujah, I think was.
That was David.
But
well, you heard there was a secret chord that David played, and he plays.
Yeah, that was for.
Look, if there's a Leonard Cohen song, it's an obvious crossover with Housewives, and we've always known that.
We have.
I think Lou's a goddamn idiot, and my hatred for her was abated slightly by when she fell, because she's such a kind of bad person and she takes herself so seriously. That felt fun.
Yeah, it did. It felt light. It felt fresh and breezy. But now she's back to the dark, and it's like, Luann, you just.
It's such a shock.
She just makes terrible decisions, and she's tone deaf. Very
Speaking
tone
of
deaf.
tone deaf, but who I gotta say, her body is, as Jessica St. Clair would say, body be banging. It's Ramona Singer in that red latex number.
That Britney look.
What would I give? She does look good, you know?
She does. She's bananas.
She's got the body of someone who's gone into recovery or gone through a divorce.
Yeah.
And I hope no one takes offense to that.
No,
you know, it's just like she's funneled all her energy into that, and it's working.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Are you trying to recover from my comment?
No, I'm trying to like process Ramona, because it's hard for me to say anything nice about Ramona, because I think she's, like Lou, a monster. I think there are two women that have no self-reflection whatsoever.
I find it very odd that in our absence, Tinsley and Carol have struck up
I think that's so odd, and it rings false, or maybe it's not false, but then Carol's not the person I thought she was, because Tinsley is tinfoil. Like,
now
Tinsley
look,
is nothing.
I know what it's like. I've been on many shows with some gals that are so sweet and lovely, but wouldn't necessarily be like my best pals, but you're in it with them. You're shooting every single day. And you know what? You really are like, I like shooting the shit with this person, and we're in this, and I like them, and it's fun.
But to go away together?
Well, when you're in that time and place, and then of course their boyfriends were friends. Although I can't even see Adam with that guy. What's his name?
It was Carol's friend that was her boyfriend.
Even odder.
Wasn't he like a Groupon salesman?
No, a Prupon? What was this thing?
Prupon?
What was it? Homepon or something so weird. Bet Tinsley's regretting that.
Sure is.
I mean, it was just so odd. I did like Tinsley's straight hair.
Yes, and
Is she
I've heard
working
she's
in
cut
efficiency?
it. Yes, she is.
Although she's
She's
getting
like, I've
room
really
service.
grown. I'm really doing it, and I'm living in an efficiency. It's like, you haven't done anything. You've just moved into a hotel.
When she over-enunciated charcuterie tray,
Yeah.
I was like, oh God.
Well, also, what I found wonderful about Tinsley is she gave $10,000 to Be Strong, where Ramona only gave
Those editors
3.
have some fucking nerve.
They sure do.
To show Tinsley not saying a word about it, which I'm sure she said something and they just cut it out. And then to cut to Ramona going, yeah, I gave as much as I could give, $3,000. Which is a lot, but
It's
in
a
the
lot,
context
but when
of
you
the
hear
show.
Tinsley gave 10. You're like, wow.
Also, like for Bethany to start screaming at Ramona, though, she did give, I don't know. It's just like,
But that's what I'm saying. Bethany can't get out of her own way. It is tough to be Bethany. She is always in her own way.
can't get out of my way.
No, she can't get out of anybody's way.
And I'm going to say one more thing. And if anyone fucking tags Bethany in this, I will come for you, because this is a woman who, you know, before I even started this podcast, donated a ton of Skinny Girl stuff to me. Her company did for a charity event. And I really, really appreciate that. So if I see anyone fucking tagging her, and you guys have been so great about that. But what was I going to say? I know. And I do see this befall a lot of actresses and people who spend a lot of time with hair and makeup people. And I put myself in this category to a degree. But when your only friends are your hair and makeup people, and all the Beverly Hills women fall prey to this, it's just like, yeah, they're laughing and smiling about your upcoming night and this and that. But ultimately, they're being paid to do your hair.
Well, that's like your employees being your friends, too.
No, look at April.
I know. April has to laugh. You think she wants to be laughing right now,
Yeah.
guys? No. This is
You
for
guys have heard how
our
much she laughs.
benefit. No, I feel like it's like when you're the boss and you think you're so funny. It's like, no. People are laughing because you're their boss.
And look, do I take advantage of that? Yes.
Sure. Have I laughed at many a boss? And have...
Oh, I mean, as the boss.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then many people have laughed at me, and I'm sure they found me annoying and irritating.
They're listening to us.
Yeah, but nonetheless, yeah, they're not your friends, Bethany. They're your employees. And not that you can't be friends with people that you're employed, but you're not that funny.
Found John Badestian charming.
Really?
Is that his last name? Badestian?
Unclear.
I found him charming when he breezed in and said hi to Tins. Said hi to Bethany, warm friends. To come back from that exchange they had at the bra shop.
Yeah. All of these people bounce back in a way I would never be able to.
You know, one thing I wish the editors and the Housewives franchise would not do is play over and over how much the women haven't seen each other in between episodes. It's like they're so careful not to show the fourth wall. I don't know. It feels like I just rather think they're all like hanging out all the time.
Well, Tinsley and Carol were, so not to worry.
When Ramona's like, Sonia was in Hampton, she didn't want to see me.
Yeah, Sonia has really dropped friends. Been real interesting.
Anything else happening? I mean, so much is coming, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like this was just planting seeds.
It was a taste.
Yeah.
Well, Dorinda, I mean, went for it.
Oh, well, she always does, and that's why we love her. God bless her. She's not afraid to get drunk and make a fool.
Why was she so proud that someone from SNL sewed her costume? It's like, why wouldn't John do that? Isn't a dry cleaner like you can get things altered?
I didn't even think of that. Oh my God.
And look, you know, to be pulling off that nude bodysuit, that like Spanx onesie, when she trotted out with it at the end of the night, when John had to drag her out, all those plastic balls flailing. It was quite a look.
It was a look.
God.
Oh, but we're in for some
But
fun
I have
stuff.
love for Dorinda, so much love for
Thank you
her.
for New York for bringing back the sense of humor to the Housewives. They always do.
I'm here for all of it.
Me too. Speaking of sense of humor, where do we want to dive in next? Beverly Hills?
Should we go to Atlanta?
Ooh, of course.
Okay. Another thing that happened when we were on Watch What Happens Live is that, and this is to never divulge any of the, I will say, juicy morsels that Andy has bestowed upon us, which we have never revealed because we love him so much and are scared of him. But no, we love him so much. But he did show us a sneak peek of the Atlanta reunion, like that was being edited, and whoa.
Wow, guys. We won't tell you anything, but
And I know I said this.
Wow.
I said this last year with the 4-parter. This looks honestly, it looks scary. Looks like American Horror Story.
yeah, Atlanta never
Freak show or
fucking
whatever that
fails
one
to
is.
deliver, especially in the reunions, whether it's Kim Zolciak saying she has cancer and then not having cancer, where it's like the stuff with Phaedra coming out.
And they showed a lot last night, like with what's coming at the reunion with Kim in a trailer screaming at Andy like, you didn't get my back, and Croy putting his big meaty hand into the camera. And at one point, Andy just yelling at someone, sit down. I'm so scared.
But we are in for a treat.
Kenya Moore has such great comebacks. Like,
Oh, she does. Did you see her on the other night? I forget what it was, but she was fantastic.
she's on fire.
Oh, she's great.
God, she said something, I think it was to Marlo in the reunion that made me laugh so
Her
hard.
and Marlo are friends now?
Oh, Andy said, Marlo, what is your line of work or what businesses? And she's like, I have businesses, a lot of online businesses, without a beat missed. Kenya was like, yes, I go online to look for your porn businesses. It was just like, whoa. And Kenya slammed her so hard in the odd costume/birthday party for Ava, in which it was Marlo, right? Yes, Marlo shows up in this outfit, and she was accompanied by an older white guy.
Yes, she was.
And Kenya just says simply, it was interesting to see Marlo accompanied, as she says, by an older white gentleman. If you'll notice, Danielle, I'm not reading this off cards. I've committed it to memory. She's like, it was interesting to see Marlo show up with an older white gentleman on her arm, as usually it's the other way around. And she meant it in the sense of a prostitute.
Yes.
It was tough.
Ooh, it is so tough, but I love it. And then Cynthia as a 50 Cent.
Cynthia was making me laugh.
She's really also taking this 50 thing all the way to the bank. This 50 thing, she is driving it.
And even the editors, which I appreciated them telling us what everyone's costume was in like a chyron on the bottom of the screen. But they said when Cynthia showed up, it said, first of all, they gave her like quite an entrance. And then at the bottom, it said 50 Cent.
Yes.
C-Y-N-T
Yeah.
is dressed as 50 Cent. I was like, all right, guys.
Well, let's talk about, even before the Halloween party in the very empty old church, another like one where I could hear the echoes because there were so few people there. Another one of those Real Housewives parties where you're like, guys, get the extras in here and make us think something's happening.
Genuine question. Is it that they don't want to put extras because they want it to be quieter for filming, or is it that they can't get people there?
I don't know, but I always feel I can hear the echoing and it gives me anxiety that it's not.
Well, they were having
full
a
enough.
Halloween party in a church.
Huge church.
Now, Danielle.
Oh,
I did not get my eyes on that church, and let me explain why.
tell everybody how you watched this week's episode of Atlanta.
So I've been a little bit crazy.
Yeah, you've been
my
very
kids
busy.
are sick. I'm just like doing a lot, I will say. And I had to listen, and I do mean listen, because I had to put the episode on my iPad, download it early, prop it up on my passenger seat while I was driving around LA, and simply listen to it like a radio play. I would take like quick glances. But when I tell you, Danielle, I didn't miss a thing.
I bet.
I would imagine I would be like, oh, I see it all. Then I would glance, and it was exactly what I was seeing. It wasn't like so down to the costume, down to the looks, down to everything. It was unbelievable.
Well, I would even say that, like a blind person smells and hears better. It's the same thing. Your senses, your Real Housewife senses just perked up.
Yes,
You
I
could feel
didn't even
everything.
obviously take notes because I was driving, but I didn't need to.
No.
Like I said, I'm bringing lines from memory.
You really are, because I have like notes down. Can we also really quick talk about Sheree's basement party?
God,
Inviting everyone over to see her
such an
finish.
asshole. Like she gets two people over to see her basement, and then instead of being like, it meant a lot that they saw my basement, she's like, and that is how I show Cynthia what a basement looks like. Her house is full of IKEA.
Yeah, they keep slamming IKEA in a way where I'm getting offended. As the owner of a few IKEA pieces, I'm very
I
proud.
hope 50 Cent is getting some money from IKEA and 50 Cent, who has recently declared bankruptcy.
Has he? That vitamin water stuff didn't work out for him?
Everything went away, but then he's had a huge resurgence.
Interesting.
I've been following his cash flow situation.
Sure, you seem
quite
really
closely.
on it. Now,
That was a very beautiful, large basement.
that was a huge basement. That's bigger than anything I've ever seen.
Who was it, Candy, that said in testimonial, like how she kind of questioned, how does Sheree have this money?
I feel the same way. Where is Sheree's money coming from?
Does anyone know?
Because even She by Sheree and even...
Oh, don't say even as though it...
I believe the t-shirt sold out of Nordstrom's.
Sorry, I'm
But-
extending my feet to you.
No, you just asked me if they smelled and now you're sending them my way.
Well, everyone reported they didn't. We're in my office, guys. We're not in the nook.
We're not in the nook today. Guys,
We're like, do they smell?
But now I'm scared of that.
I know it's not what anyone wants. We are lying on a long couch like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the way the grandparents slept together.
We are grandparents wise because we're like,
why did both sets of grandparents sleep in the same bed facing each other?
to creep us the fuck out. I don't
When
know.
I saw it, I was like, like that sounds right.
I understand that these people are very poor, but get a mattress to the floor. Like, do something. There are things to be done. We don't all four need to be
Facing
tip
each
to
other.
toes in the
this
bed
okay?
together. I'm fine with it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, what I cannot wait for is, I mean, Nene says it in the reunion. So the best is that Andy is pulled aside in the reunion from the clip we saw, and he's listening to a message from, who is it, Portia?
Oh, no, Sheree's boyfriend in prison.
Right, but who's playing the message for Andy?
Sheree.
But would Sheree, is it really Sheree? Because would she want this to be the case?
Yes, because it's about Nene and how Nene was like stalking him.
Okay, so Sheree's pulled Andy over to the side. Like, I don't know when this is. This is like in flats.
Again, you didn't watch. So you
No,
just
well, I
heard.
don't know where it is, but I pictured it off stage, and when I looked at I saw like bars and like a stage backstage area.
Yes.
And so Andy's listening intently, and basically the boyfriend is reporting, what's his name?
I forget his name.
I know it. He's kind of reporting that Nene was obsessed with him, blah, blah, blah. And then they cut to Nene going, all right, I'll say it. I gave him a blowjob. So good.
Oh, Atlanta never fails.
And she was married to Greg at that point, I believe. Maybe it was when they took their...
Speaking of Greg, seeing him in that roach costume, asleep.
I loved it.
I loved the costume. But
I
then,
loved hearing it.
him in that roach costume and her as the exterminator were hilarious and great.
Such a great costume.
I loved it. And Greg looks so
cute.
Sweet. Like, I love Greg. I love
too.
Gray Leaks. But then they, Old Man Leaks was like in the side of the party, like half asleep. Like they just had him like as a roach.
He's definitely
like sitting on.
He's definitely grown into the Ken Vanderpump or whatever the
Ken
fuck
Todd.
Ken Todd of
He has
Atlanta.
become the Ken Todd of it all. But he's just like asleep on like a pillar in the side of that sad little party. And it was tough.
With
but
huge roach costume on.
Yeah.
Okay, when Kim Zolciak, when she's so
I can't
base.
stand her
When
anymore.
she rolled up in that, she was in a like Playboy.
It's so predictable. Oh, you're a Playboy bunny.
It's like, does that even
Fuck
exist
off.
anymore? It's from fucking 1980,
I know,
90.
it's so gross.
And then she just goes, hey, y'all. She's like, oh, this is riding up my pussy. It's like, excuse me?
Oh, when I heard pussy
On television?
I screamed out loud when I was like, pussy!
Call me old fashioned.
She's a monster.
I know.
And not that you can't use the word pussy, but it felt so base
And
at
with that dumb
moment.
lug next
He's
to her.
the worst. I used to love them. Again, maybe next week I'll change, but this week I was like, I'm done with them both.
I know.
I'm not interested.
She looks so insane in the reunion with those
And
lips.
She's just nasty now. Like, there's no fun to her. Like, like what, love or hate Nene, she still gives me joy. There is no joy in Kim Zolciak at this point.
I know, and at least Nene is attempting to entertain.
Yeah.
Whereas like and I keep talking about the reunion footage, but it was so good because Candy screams at Kim. She gets up out of her chair and she's like, you acted this season like an observer, like a fan.
Yeah.
Like sitting on the sidelines while we're all doing the work. And that's the truth.
That is the truth. And that's why it was no fun to watch her. It's like, get off the show. Get off my TV if you can't participate.
Although I hope she stays.
Of course.
Wow. Anything else? I mean, I do love last thing, every one of Cynthia's testimonials. Mm-hmm. And, I think maybe not, but what comes with being a model is she is a bit like self-loving of her looks.
Yeah.
But she did make me laugh when she was dressed as a man. And then she's like, I knew I was attractive as a woman. I had no idea how attractive I was as a man. She did look
Agree.
good.
She's
I mean,
a very
Kenya was
handsome
like,
woman.
I thought a fine-ass man was walking up to me.
I know Kenya was like,
Kenya was ready to leave her man.
Oh, for sure. Also, real quick, who was the guy holding Portia's train? Anyway, it was just a guy. She was like walking off, like not wanting to hear anybody's like, being mad at her and like
I think
apologizing.
Marlo was jumping the shark, like chasing Portia around the party, trying to agitate her.
Yeah.
There's always one in anger management classes, and the others are trying to agitate them. That's become a trope. We've got Leanne Locken doing her work at that therapist's house.
Sure.
In the living room, apparently. And then we've got Portia. I like Portia, and I'm going to say it right now. I would have thought it, and she confirmed it. I love her acting.
I think she's a good actress.
She's great.
I do too.
Holding her own with Vivica A. Fox.
Oh, yeah.
Why did Kenya have to slam Vivica like that?
I was shocked. Why is she slamming Vivica?
You're so lucky to have Vivica on your show, lowering herself to be on your little program.
I know. Vivica Fox is like an actress for the ages. Like, we've enjoyed her work for 20 years.
And I love Portia saying at the end, she was like, Kenya and I, we've had our differences. And I'm like thinking, differences? Like, they attacked each other and both were arrested. But anyway.
And filed police reports.
Yes. And then she's like, we've had our differences. She's like, but since Kenya came to my play, we're good.
So,
I love it.
they get so angry and they can forgive in a way that I'll just never be capable of. And that's why I love these women.
I think they have to. I think that's part of the job.
But they seem to truly do it inside.
I know. If like someone looks at me funny, I'm like, done.
I'm like, dead to me. Not these women.
Scorpio severs.
Capricorn's just like, moving on.
Moving up. Climbing that
Always.
mountain.
Guys, Beverly Hills. We have to watch them ride horses again. I just can't. I cannot with these women and their goddamn horses.
When I saw Teddy strapping off in those horse boots on that balcony of the Waldorf Astoria in Berlin.
So bummed.
And no thank you.
I was like, I literally said out loud, ugh.
I mean, oh God.
And Rinna on that horse was so Rinna on a horse.
I'm loving Rinna this season.
I am. The footage from like below.
Okay, whose idea was it to shoot them up on the horses?
That was a
You
great
should
idea.
be knighted. You should be knighted. You're a genius.
Genius. Watching it from that angle, watching the horse take off.
I'd like to report an opinion from our friend Matt McConkey about
he had a strong opinion that
Kyle
shocked
Richards.
us all.
He simply wrote to us, Kyle is the new Kim, bye, and then put a peace sign emoji. Kyle is the new Kim, so I wrote, what? And you said, how so? And Matt writes, just her childish nonsense and her druggy energy in Berlin, but at least she brought all her crushed velvet pieces to wear.
It was a lot of crushed velvet.
Mustard yellow crushed velvet blazer.
But then 2 in a row, there was like a pale pink, like a blush, and then a mustard. It was a lot of crushed velvet in one hour of television.
Funny because I always find Kyle, despite all, to be the most grounded.
Me too.
And I wonder if that's because her style is so bad.
Yeah. Well, I think she doesn't have a style.
Is that how
like
she's just like us?
I think she is just like us. She goes back and forth. I mean, there was also like a one-shouldered number this week.
I liked that skirt. I thought she looked fun at the beer garden.
But I also felt like where everybody did it up for like the dinner in Erica's room, she was in just like a blazer, which was like, again.
And she walked in, on that thing and she was like, oh, hey, I'm not dressed up. And I did feel bad for her. When we saw the crew, that was great.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I always like to see a behind the scene look and Kyle having the sort of panic attack. I do find that when Kyle panics, she runs. Like she always just like breaks out in a run. Like the minute so whether it's an allergic reaction or something about her sister, she just takes off like a shot.
They did do that unfortunate like clip package of all her anxieties and maladies, and it was tough.
And she's running in a great deal of them. She just tries to run away from the anxiety. Now, guys, I will say something. In a matter of minutes on the show, Teddy won me over. I know I have been not on Teddy's side, and I have gotten flack from it because people really like her. I have not been impressed by her. And then today, when she tried to handle the horse, I'm like, oh, maybe I am for Teddy. Like, maybe she has a stronger vibe than I'm giving her.
She doesn't have a strong vibe. She knows how to ride a horse, and she stopped another woman from riding a horse.
I think I got... it's like when somebody helps you. It's like I'll have a crush on like if a plumber comes over and like fixes a problem. I'm like, I think I love him. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm fine. But you know what I mean? Like someone.
True. It's like I have such a crush on your lawyer only because he's helping us, and I've only heard him over the phone. He's gorgeous. Shout out to Matt Rosen. I was going to, speaking of Teddy, going to read just the top because it is so amazing of Brian Moylan, our frequent guest who writes the Vulture recaps. It is so funny what he said about Beverly Hills. Well, his caption is, I'm starting to like Teddy, aren't I? And then he says, this week on our favorite program, Rich Women Doing Things, International Edition, the women did things. Oh, the rich women did things. They commandeered the better part of a German twink waiter's afternoon with their orders of vanilla lattes with differing amounts of milk made out of nuts. So he couldn't finish his fine art project for his MFA and had to leave his big city university and return home to whatever small hamlet he stumbled out of. They couldn't figure out how to open the door of their giant hotel suites, so were forced to ask one of the 2 staff members tasked with their care to get the door open for them. Oh, and they all, almost to a woman, refused to eat veal. When dealing with the rich women who so rarely have any morals at all when it comes to fur, leather, and blood diamonds, we know where the line is, and that is eating baby moo. It just made me laugh.
So fucking funny and smart. I adore him. But then I hated Teddy again, right after I liked her, because the minute she started doing that reply all accountability voicemail to all of her fucking clients, I was like, fuck off. Like, then I was like, oh, come on. I'm done. I'm over. So I liked her and then I hated her. It happened in like less than 5 minutes.
See, I'm suspect of a new housewife that so many women really, really like. It just means she's normal and nice and boring.
Yeah, not for us. Not for us.
Like Kyle and Lisa really like her, and it's like, oh, because she's no threat to them, and I need these new players to be a threat.
Me too. Now, this episode was a bit dark.
Really? Oh, sorry. So sorry. Sorry. I had blocked this part out. It was, I don't know how I feel.
But it wasn't even the Holocaust Memorial. It was even before that when they went to like the Reichstag and stuff like that. Like, now I've never been to Germany.
I was talking about the Holocaust Memorial.
But even before that though,
okay.
I just meant just strolling the streets of like Germany and like visiting those places that I've like heard about, like in the history that nightmares? I read, in my nightmares and in the history I read, and knowing what happened there, and like just it gives me it just gives me pause. Like, and I do want to go to Germany because I do think there is so much beauty and art.
My husband wouldn't let us change planes there.
Really? He's really going. Like, I haven't been, and my husband is the same way. We haven't been because of it, but I think I would feel.
And I love how everyone's like, it's such a free city. I'm like, now.
But I still think the darkness of what happened, of what they did, it lingers there. It lingers there. You can't,
as does the darkness of slavery.
Yeah.
Hangs over America
for sure, as it should. As it should.
And I it's tough because while I'm on the one hand not glad, but it was nice to see them at least taking 1 second.
Yes.
And I loved Erica's education that she gave us.
Oh, she did great. I thought it was a tough place for Dorit's clip-on bangs. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was tough.
I was gonna say that. That was like a tough.
It was tough for them to make their appearance because they so often come and go.
Yeah, and they come and go, and they're usually at a brighter time. So for me to process that and what was going on,
it was all too much.
It was all too much. It was a lot for me.
Yeah, that was hard.
I do but yeah, so I again, it was good.
And of
to
course,
watch,
I was tearing up, when Kyle was talking about Mauricio, and certainly when Dorit was talking about her. Ooh.
That was good to hear, but I cried. Oh, completely bawled during that part.
It's just hard to transition out of it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I give the editors and the producers and them a lot of credit for there's still episode to go.
And then everyone's just climbing back into the van.
How do we get light again after
and Erica's putting on pigtails for the beer garden.
But I do think, you know what? The beer garden was a nice palate cleanser.
I know. And I'm just cycling back one moment to 2 outfits that I couldn't help but give me pause in Erica's private dinner party.
Uh-huh.
When Erica gave so much props to the staff there, she's like, you know how amazing it is to just call people and have them come and give in. It's like, yes, this is being paid for. And yes, they set up dinner for you guys. Yeah. You're on a show.
Yeah.
But I love how now the ladies of Beverly Hills have so gotten it into their thick skulls that they are dressing for each other.
Oh, yeah.
And when they show up at the door, it's a moment. Mm-hmm. But it's a little so much of a moment, and they're all trying so hard, which was so funny when Kyle walked in jeans.
Oh, yeah, it was because everyone had looks.
I mean, Erica Jane had a veil on like Madeline Kahn and Clue.
Yeah, she did. I mean, she gave us, and there was some Lisa Vanderpump had on a leather glove at one point, like a
Okay, I gotta stop you. That was when they bopped around to the Berlin Wall.
Yes, but like a fingerless leather sort of glove. I was unprepared for. In fact, when I was looking at her hand, I thought it was Erica Jane. screen for a minute and then to look up and see Lisa Vanderpump's face.
I thought it was like a
shock.
brace at first, like
like a person that has carpal tunnel and needs one of those like braces or
yes, something going on there, but it wasn't.
it's usually reserved for like a librarian or like
texting finger.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going on. But when Erica was wearing kind of like a Veronica Lake gothic kind of Kim Basinger LA confidential look that I thought was one of her best
gorgeous.
ever.
I loved that outfit. She looked amazing.
And wasted on a dinner in your room.
Oh, I know.
But
Tonight I
again,
think go out
not
and see the
really
city.
because we're all watching it.
That is true.
But then there was another look that night. Okay, guys. Now, I've let a lot of Lisa Rinna's outfits slide. But that slinky silver glitter jumpsuit with those bright pink lips.
Those pink lips, I couldn't look away.
I couldn't process it.
Because she's got lips for days. And like even with a
She
sheer...
normally puts them in like a light kind of nude
even
coppery.
with a sheer coating, I can't look away to do that to everybody else.
She's like strawberry shortcake.
It was
so
clownish.
shocking.
It was.
And you know what I respected about her though is like she ain't gonna pay for people to come out and get her ready, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'll throw on a bright lip," and she did.
But she shouldn't. She can't.
Why can't
She
Erica
made a deal with the devil.
Why can't any like Erica? Couldn't she say like, okay, the girls like pretend this is Priv and give me $200. Come over early. I'll stack you up like a wedding roster and let my bridesmaids get done first. Like that's not available to
I don't
anyone.
think that's available. And I think that's expensive.
But just
and I
Mikey
don't-
and the crew, but they're already out there. They're just sitting there.
But those women are not easy breezy women. Once they get in that makeup chair, they're gonna have demands. I don't think it's that easy.
It seems pretty easy. I mean, Mikey being all the way out there for like
She's paying. She said Erica said in some interview, and maybe I'm getting this wrong, that she spends like $40,000 a month in beauty. That makes sense. I might be getting that figure wrong, but something like that.
I mean, it doesn't even do to get into the Dorit Kyle. Dorit's such a fucking
I'm
shit
so sick of this fight. I'm so sick of that fight. I can't even give attention to that fight anymore. I can't believe they're not sick of it. I'm so sick of that fight.
It's horrible. It's so boring. I can't even follow it.
No, I was just like, ugh. That and the horses. I was like, nope, nope, nope.
Nope. Anything else?
I think that's it for that. Let's do Vanderpump.
Yeah. Wow. We're still in Mexico.
Yeah.
Playa de Carmen.
But a good way to kick off an episode. I like when they go back and forth in time, where like they give us the end and sort of like, what is that, Rashomon?
Rashomon. I wrote down the same thing. I wrote down Rashomon. It's the interesting structural dynamics the editors are playing with.
It makes me feel like maybe we're going to see something, though.
Does anyone know an editor of one of these shows? And I mean a head editor, not someone loading the footage. Does anyone know of anyone we could interview? That to me would be a get.
Yeah.
That's
I'd
the
like
info
to know.
I want. And are these stand-ups as well? I mean, these are funny cuts.
Funny, great. I mean, that edit, and I heard Rihanna has been watching Vanderpump. Do you know about this?
No.
And she tweeted the footage of Tom Schwartz, like of Schwartz getting wasted, and the editors that did the footage of him getting wasted throughout that night. And she was hysterically laughing, and she was like, "These editors are fucking A+." And I was like, "Yes, they fucking are."
I mean,
I agree with you, Rihanna.
I laughed out loud when I think it was Jack said to Tom, like, it's just going to be Tom restaurant. Because that Tom wandered to another hotel.
To another resort.
And his wife, what's the fucker's her name?
Katie.
Was like, Bubba, come on, Bubba. She's like, I mean, this woman, nothing gets to her.
He's unwell. He's an alcoholic.
But he does have this like a boyish charm, I think, because he's grown out the front of his hair, so it's kind of floppy.
The
And he
charm has
feels
been
like he's
wasted on
younger.
me. But he's not. He's in his 30s.
I've said it before. I've just never seen a more ill-matched couple.
No, both of them are better off.
And she's a nice person, you know.
Sure, and I'm sure he is too, but no.
I know something about Ariana is just, I both love to look at her so much and also have
beautiful.
some disdain.
She's beautiful, but there's nothing interesting going on. But she's beautiful.
I wish she had kept all her neuroses from us.
Yeah, but even before the neuroses, I just wasn't that interested. She was always trying to be
How about
so
when
cool
they
for school.
flash back to Lala? Her look has shifted.
Yes, it has.
For the
It
better.
sure has. Oh, for sure. She still makes some,
Oh my God. Okay. David and I were laughing so hard at the scene when Lala and Sheena Marie were in the room and flowers came for Lala.
Oh!
It's so funny because David literally not only called it, he started doing the dialogue before Sheena Marie had done it that we thought was too outrageous for her to do. And then she did it where, Lala gets flowers and Lala's like, oh man, does your guy ever send you flowers? And David starts going, I hate flowers. Like, what? I don't even need that. That's like so crazy. Like, we are not like that. Like, that's not our relationship. Like telling herself all these lies. And then she's like, ew, flowers, gross.
I hate presents too. And you know what? I hate kissing. Yeah. Like she is.
She's like, I hate cuddling. I hate kissing. I hate presents. I hate sex. Like, I hate affection. I hate words of...
And I hate me. I would break up with me.
She's like, I hate all 5 love languages. Don't have one. She's like, whatever I'm getting is what we do. And I don't know about the rest of you.
But I don't even... Like, he tries to send me flowers. And I'm like, get those the fuck away.
She literally then was like, I mean, a dozen red roses. She's like,
so basic. She was like, so basic. I'm not a basic bitch.
I want to be like, your wet hair in these interviews is basic.
I was to be like, you're crying underneath. You're breaking. So
I have such little tolerance for Sheena Marie.
You know who I have little tolerance for? Is James getting behind that DJ booth with
have so much tolerance for that.
That poor DJ in Mexico is just trying to do his fucking job and get through his shift. And he has to deal with goddamn drunk James trying to like DJ for everybody.
And I'm sure they cut out a bunch of things where he was like, what? Who? Like looking at the cameras.
And then he's DJing. What's his name is DJing, and old man Jax is like, I don't understand this music.
Guys, I love Jax. It made me laugh when he said that. He's like, it's just a series of like beats and rhythms.
It's like the kids with their music, with their rock and roll.
You know what I love about old man Jax and Brittany is that when they wake up in the morning and she's always got I'm like, here they come. And there come those glasses.
Oh, they are. And she's always in just like an old sorority tee. She's just like, hey.
She's like, hey, Jax. Hey, Jax.
They're all worse for the weather. Like, I'm going to
and then he bitches about everyone. She's like, I don't know.
I don't think he meant to.
Now, who's the one? What's her name? I mean, she's so periphery now.
Kristen?
No. Kristen's neck to head ratio. That little pinhead and that thick neck. Don't tag.
I was going to say something about Kristen that I felt.
I'm holding back.
I think she smells of jizz. You know?
Absolutely.
Like it's just in her hair.
Like someone's like all
on her
over
stomach.
Someone's come all over her chest.
And she just doesn't have the time to wash it off.
And it's sticky. And you know what? I don't need to see her disgusting flat ass showering.
No.
With those goddamn dolphin tattoos framing her butthole.
She's rough. She's rough.
She's a rough and tumble. And I honestly, like, if I said this in any other context, I would be screaming with rage at me. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to be ageist, but there's something about her hardened look next to that fresh-faced James, and I have a soft spot for James.
Like
when James started crying, I was like, don't do it, James. Don't make everyone hate you.
He doesn't do it. James doesn't do it for me the way he does it for you.
And then when he was talking about his past,
yes, that made me, yes, and he has been bullied, but he's such a monster now. Like, he's such a...
I have such a soft spot for him. I feel we could be friends, and I am dead ass serious.
Casey.
Him and me and Lala, we could run around together.
I'm afraid for that friendship.
I think it would be like fun. I think they'd just be like, hey, and I'd breeze in and out. And they're like I'm the friend with kids.
I think they'd get you wound up in something you couldn't handle.
I can drink with the best of them.
You can, but
how much I love tequila.
You do. I don't know, maybe it is a friendship that you need to explore.
I've never said that about any of the housewives.
No, you haven't. This is the first time I've seen you genuinely say, I think
Lala's
we're a good
on
match.
the level.
Yeah. Lala's a star. I've said that many times. Her skin is gorgeous. Never seen skin I've wanted more in my life.
I know.
Any other moments this week? Oh, when Ken Todd said... Jax is a man of the world living in Hollywood. I was like, what?
When Lisa tried to fake and say like, Ken was catching around before he met me. I'm like, Lisa. Oh. I know a lot of women, older women who date way older men. Like, no tagging my aunt. My aunt has a much older husband, and he will text us, and she's always like, you guys need to text your uncle. She's very protective that we're not texting him. She doesn't have kids, and she gets upset that he's not on like text change because he's in his 80s.
Yeah, well.
And then he started sending us texts, and I'm like, that's not him. She's texting from his phone. It's like, hey guys. And she's trying to like, like build him up a bit and make him happen. And I love my uncle dearly, but I feel that's a little bit what's happening with Lisa and Ken.
I hear that.
But I thought it was such a sweet moment. When Lisa put her head on the dog and looked up, I was like, that's a model shot. She's so gorgeous.
Oh, she's beautiful.
And I do love how they both have this common interest in animals. I think it's so sweet.
They do. I
They have
agree.
more in common than me and my husband do. They're saving animals. We're lying in bed eating filet.
With a fork and a knife and salt and pepper. Just right in your bed sheets.
Ketchup. You know, we have ketchup by the bed. We've started turning it over so that it's at the ready.
The ketchup is by the bed now. Casey, this has taken a
There's been
dark
barbecue
turn.
sauce there.
Casey, this is... What color are your sheets? White?
Okay, I did notice that there look to be a pall. To some of them, there's some stains. It's not just stains, grease stains.
I'm not saying I won't take some nuts into the bed, but that's a nut.
We have a nice home. But it's like it's out of place.
Now, here's another quote from the episode that I thought was the quote of the episode, which Lala said, and she's always very profound, which she says, once the dick has entered one of your holes, it's easy for it to re-enter. And I agree with that. I agree with that.
That was wild.
Yeah, and it's true.
Speaking of wild, before we end, Danielle, I know everyone's watching it, but I do want to give a shout out to Wild Wild Country. Oh, you know how much I love cults.
Oh, I'm dying for this.
And as I said to Cool Up, I thought I knew my cults.
No.
I'm listened to every podcast on cults. I've read every book. Cults and mafia, I know.
Yeah.
To not have heard of the Rajneeshis.
Yeah.
And what went on with a female leader, which people weren't ready for, a female cult leader.
No.
And if you don't think Sheila was leading that thing, then you're dead ass
and
wrong.
can I tell you, again, I'm 2 episodes in and I know shit went wrong, but
shit goes
I
wrong.
love Sheila.
Guys, shit goes wrong.
We could all be more like Sheila. Anyway, so we end on that note?
Let's end on that note. Guys, great show.
Yes. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, April.
Thank you, Luce.
Thank you, July. Thank you, Earwolf.
Hey guys, it's Jessica St. Clair and Lennon Parham here. If you haven't listened to Womp It Up,
We've got all brand new episodes. They're airing weekly. Chances are there's about 20,000 episodes for you to listen to on your drive.
we've got some of the best comedians in the biz on playing amazing characters.
Casey Wilson,
Rob Hubel,
Paul Scheer,
Jason Mantzoukas,
Mary Holland,
Nick Kroll.
Brian Husky,
How about Andy Daly?
and that's just to name a few. Please join us every week for a new episode of Womp It Up and watch as the Wamplerverse expands before your eyes.
Hashtag turnaround.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Ackerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.